Hello everybody, today I have played some Operation Seelöwe and I've decided to actually reset because the German player has had 4 consecutive turns without an ability to land any troops because of the bad weather, so it doesn't really have any point continuing. So in the meantime I'm playing Cruel Necessity for the first time. So I've now established that this game really doesn't have a jigsaw map, which I find absolutely annoying because when you look at it, I mean, this is really flimsy. And if you move it, you know, you have tracks down here, they will actually be separated. So I don't know why they decided to discontinue this. I saw on some kind of board that this was a decision based on feedback. I don't know. I mean, this game retails at $39 with the boxed set and $32 with the Ziploc version. And obviously there is no difference between the two because this doesn't have the jigsaw mounted map. The only difference is that it comes with a red pizza type box. So yeah, that's the last boxed set that I will ever buy from them if I have the chance to get the Ziploc, because you know, if you're paying $7 more, then there should be something more in it than just a red box. Anyways, so I'm at the moment setting up the first Civil War. I'm not gonna explain all of the rules. I'm also going to probably do a playthrough just now, but just a couple of things. It's a state of siege game, so it means that you have tracks starting at 5 up here in the Highlands, and then moving down, that would be Scotland. North, Durham starts at 5, then you move to Chester, York, Stafford, and Nottingham. And here in the west, you start in Cornwall. Actually a lovely place to visit if you're ever in Britain, you know, skip all of this, you know, even London, you know, go to Dartmoor, go to Devon, go to Cornwall, beautiful places. So the Western Army would move from Cornwall to Devon, Somerset, Sussex, Oxford, and then the central space that no army must invade is London. Having said this, slightly differently from the other games, even just entering the space doesn't make any difference. You don't lose the game automatically, but then London is under siege. You also have these spaces which are fortified cities, like London down here, Bristol, Oxford. Depending on their colour, they are either your own, so basically you are the blue player, or they are the enemy, red. So at the moment, most of the, 4 out of 6 cities are in your hands. The way you set them up is you have those chits, which have an opening here, so you basically place them, and this is really nicely done. You can tell for the initial setup which side this particular city is on. Anything that is blue, and on your side anything that's red has a red dot is on the enemy side, and you set them up accordingly, and each has a different strength, and the strength point that you get at startup is also indicated here. So you also have, of course, a deck of cards. In this case, when I said in the initial video that they were brown, I'm mistaken. This color is supposed to be bronze. So basically the next step is that we will set up the deck. Oh no, actually before we do that, we will put in the 6 political track markers if we can find them. Puritanism, Catholicism, Ireland, Scotland, monarchy, and parliament. So these should be the 6 markers. Place the 6 political track markers face up on their respective tracks in their starting spaces indicated by a circled number. Okay, again, they're making it hopefully quite easy for you to set it up by actually indicating on the map what you need to do. So here I have the Parliament marker. And it goes onto the Parliament space. Yeah, see, this is where this is really annoying, the fact that the map isn't... I mean, I don't understand why a map of this size needed to be cut. I mean, they should have been able to print it in one and then fold it, but okay. Parliament is... So here we are back. I've placed the markers, as you can see here. The tracks have names. So this is the Scotland track, this is the Parliament track, this is the Puritanism track. And in order for you to find it easier to place them without having to look up the rules, you start with the on the field that has the number in a circle. So here we put it in here. Okay, so I've done that up here as well. Now we're placing, this is now the battle mat. Now of course this looks a little chaotic because that's where I just put all of the counters. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sorting the counters. Up here you have the cavalry, the royalist cavalry, and here you have the royalist musket and pike units. So the red player goes here. The blue player goes, so that is basically you, or in this case me, goes here. So we put all of them in here. And well, these are all kinds of other things which we will put to the side. Okay. Place the Irish and Scottish Army morale markers. That's Irish Troubles. That goes under on the Irish Troubles start. Place the Irish and Scottish Army morale markers. That's probably, yeah, that's these guys. In the foreign armies box to the left of their political tracks. That's here. Placed. Okay. Place the zeal points marker. Starting space 5. Again, it's round, so very nicely done. I like it when all of the information is on the map and you don't have to consult the rules all the time. Set aside the round deviltry markers. Done. Set aside the 4 hexagon-shaped revolt markers. Done. Set aside in a very convenient location light green and yellow square strength and DRM markers. That's these yolks here. And then we have these two, and I don't know what they do, so we will just put them here. Okay, so next we need to look at since this is a card-driven game, at the card decks. Here is the card deck Cruel Necessity Battle Events. Sort out the 15 battle event cards and shuffle them together. Place them face down to form the battle events draw pile on the battle display mat. That's here. Sort out the remaining 60 cards into 3 piles. We play the 27 copper First Civil War cards. That's these ones. I've already separated them. Among the copper bordered First Civil War cards, sort out the 2 with a white circle behind their card numbers. That's number 01 and 27. You can actually just play them in the way they are numbered, which will mean that you're getting the complete historical setup with no surprises. Okay, don't seem to have number 27. I have number 28. Oh, here we go. 27. Okay. Place card 27 face down on the draw pile box on the map and set aside card 01. Okay. So, basically we seed the deck. So, draw pile, and then we take this card, which is the First English Civil War, the prologue. I'm going to read it. For 15 years, Charles's subjects became more alienated by his religious policies and desire to rule without parliaments. The more zealous Protestants or Puritans imagined the existence of a royal plot aimed at restoring the Catholic faith in England and the destruction of the people's liberties. Charles's attempt to introduce a new prayer book to Scotland in 1637 provoked furious resistance. His response to crush the Scots by force went disastrously wrong, compelling him to summon an English Parliament in October 1640 to raise money in support of his war. One seated Parliament assailed Charles with angry complaints about his policies. At first, the king had few supporters, but as Puritan members pushed for wholesale reform of the church, religious traditionalists became alarmed, and Charles found himself at the head of a swelling political constituency. Then, in 1641, the Catholics of Ireland rose up in arms, brutally killing many hundreds of the English and Scottish Protestants who had settled in Ireland. The rebellion caused panic in England, making it harder than ever for political compromises to be reached and the nation's problems solved. England was rapidly divided into 2 powerful armed camps. So now we turn over the card, and this is the first card we will play. So the way you play a card is you just put it on the discard pile, and then it becomes your active card, the card that you now, have to deal with. So I'm going to zoom in a little, because again, the ingenuity of this system is that really anyone can play this really, really easily. You basically take all of the areas of the card in turn. Number 1 is the flavor text. 28th of August 1640. Needing to secure funds to raise a new army to stop the Scottish invasion after the defeat of the English army at Newburn, King Charles calls for a session of Parliament. That's where we're at. Next, you see this symbol, which means an army moves, and this is the state of siege staple thing that happens. An assailant moves towards the center space. So the center space, the one that they want to invade, is again London, so the 0 space. And again, you have the different tracks. In this case, of course, it's slightly different from the other maps in that it's bigger and less stylized, because this is actually a map of the English, of the British Isles. Yeah. And here you have the Cruel Necessity player aid. And it says here, if the soldier on the card is red and is supplemented by a red cannon symbol, conduct a battle using the tactical battle display. It's not the case here. So, sequence of play. Reveal the top card If it is an achievement card, place it. If you reveal an event card, place it on the top discard pile. Action phase. Complete all of its activities listed. See also 6.0. 6.0 is probably on the other side. No, it's not. Okay, so why is 6.0 not on this? I mean, that's a really weird player aid. Okay, 6.0, so you do have to refer back to the map. Again, I have to say, you know, sometimes I'm really happy with how they set up games, and sometimes I'm like, you know, give me a second player aid. Don't ask me to now return to the rules. I mean, sorry. When you make player aids, get them right. 6.0. Event card. Flag soldier, activate invading armies. Each flag symbol indicates that the specific army activates. So it can do certain things. It will recover from disorder, or it will combat a clubman revolt marker in its or a higher numbered area, or it will besiege a parliamentary fortress, or it will advance. So let's look at Scotland. Scotland is not disordered. Well, the Scottish forces are not disordered. There is no clubman revolt thingy going on, and there is nothing that they can besiege. So they move one over. So they move into space 4, and now there actually is a fortress that they could besiege, which would happen the next time they activate. So now that is them done, because only Scotland activates. Okay. Next one. Religious and political events. In this case, diminutive Archbishop Laud attempts to impose a new Anglican prayer book on the Scots, but the Scottish bishops strongly oppose its introduction. So it means the monarchy goes down one space. So we look at monarchy at the turn track, and it goes down one space. The monarchy goes down to D. If it reaches F, this is like the American school system. Apparently, you get failures, and if you get a fail mark, and if you have 4 markers in the F grade, then you lose the game immediately. Okay, so we've done that, and now the Scottish Kirk Church signs the covenant to reject the Books of Common Prayer, which means that the Parliament gets a +1 DRM. So, now I've worked on the so now this is all that this card yields. So now it's my turn. Now I can actually act. So I can now spend zeal points to do my actions. I could purchase an available achievement, which I can't because there aren't any. I can infuse zeal with a single unit or marker. I can campaign against an enemy army unit or a deviltry marker. There are no deviltry markers. Besiege an enemy fortress or revolt marker. Fortify a friendly fortress, 2 clicks per turn maximum, to improve its defenses. Engage in politics or declare desperate times. So, Okay. So, what I can do is, for example, what would make sense is to deal with a situation in Scotland. Scotland is at 3. So if I want to push the Scots back, I spend 1 zeal point. And then I roll a die. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll a die. I have to roll 4 or higher. And I roll a 3. Nothing happens because the value of the strength of the Scottish army is 3. I can fortify a friendly fortress, or I can engage in politics. Let's see. Declare the eligible political marker and note the number in the box you're trying to raise that marker up to. Now, Parliament is, I have a +1 on Parliament rolls. So I'm going to choose Parliament. I want to move it 1 up to 3. So I'm going to roll a die now. And I roll a 2. I need a 3. I lose 1 zeal point, of course, and then is less than or equal to. In the box you are trying to raise that marker up to, there is no effect, so we'll try it again, just for the hell of it, and we roll a 6, so that one goes up 1, that's good for us. And now I'm also going to spend my last zeal point, or second to last zeal point, again to work on Scotland. You can try that multiple times, and I roll a 5 and Scotland gets pushed back into the Highlands. That's very good. I've got 1 more zeal point which I'm going to spend to increase the strength of Edinburgh. The way you do this is you fortification, and you raise, and you just basically move it 1 point clockwise. So here we go, 3. So that's done. Now, new round. We get to the house. We get to the end times phase. If you do not control London or have 4 or more F grades, you lost. No. Housekeeping. Remove all temporary strength modifiers. Removed. Gain zeal points as per 10.2. So depending on what I own and what is mine and what I control, I get zeal points. 10.2 tells me that I am eligible. Victory and defeat. No, we're not that far gone yet. 10.2. Gain zeal points. +3 for controlling London. Even if it is under siege, it doesn't matter. I get 3 zeal points. Yay. +1 each for Hull, Oxford or Bristol, if they are controlled by the Parliament, which they are. So I get 3 points for that. And I would also get +1 if Catholicism was in its highest box, which it's not, and -1 if Puritanism was in its lowest box, which it's also not. So this means the first round is over, honestly, I'm already loving this game. This is a great States of Siege one because you again have different options that you can take, but they're all meaningful, unlike Dawn of the Zeds. Have I mentioned that I don't like Dawn of the Zeds yet? Card number 6. House of Commons passes resolution against Lord. Sorry, not against land. 1st of September 1641. The House of Commons acts to overturn the religious reforms of Archbishop Laud and replace them with a more Puritan theology. Presbyterians oppose such a move. Again, when we look at the card, Scotland moves, but it also says besiege or fortify Edinburgh. So I don't know what this actually means when there is more information than just someone moves. Let's check this out. Certain cards directly state besiege or fortify X. Regardless of the location of the invading army in that region, the opposing royalists' forces are making mischief. If the designated fortress is royalist controlled, increase its strength by 1. If the designated fortress is parliament controlled, conduct a siege against it in the usual manner. So it means that both they move and secondly they besiege. So let's see how a siege works. 624. Okay, so they roll the die twice. So the first roll is a 6, which is never good. So it's reduced by 1. It's a good thing that I fortified it on the last one. And now they get to do it again. They roll a 3, which is greater than the combat value. So Edinburgh will soon fall. Okay, so that wasn't really good for me. Now, next up is Matthew Hopkins, Witchfinder General, uses the Civil War to bring about England's worst ever witchcraft persecutions. Reveal the next 2 event cards, review them, and then replace them face down on top of the draw pile in the same order. Now, okay, in the same order. Okay. So the next one would be a fight on the battle mat. So that's an off map. Battle off map, on map. And we place clubmen, and besiege or fortify Oxford twice. Okay. And the next one after that means Puritanism goes up, Parliament goes up, and there's also a battle. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay. Pym details First Army plot, a conspiracy by royalist officers against the Parliament to free the imprisoned Earl of Strafford, probably Stafford, and end the long Parliament. Monarchy goes down 1. Oops. Monarchy is in the F, and it means that revolts and deviltry get a +1 strength. That is bad. So, now, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to get rid of the Scots. On a 2, that's not going to work. Do that again. On a 4, push them back. Very good. I'm going to fortify Edinburgh twice for 2 zeal points. 1, 2. And I'm also going to work on my monarchy friends. I need to roll a 4 or higher, and I roll a 2. Brilliant. My dice rolls are really abysmal. And another 2. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, now, again, I get 3 for London and 3 for the... Okay, so good. Well, you know, that didn't go too well. So next up is the card number 15, the Battle of Turnham Green. 13th of November 1642. After a series of royalist victories, parliamentary forces defeat King Charles's army and save London. Royalist forces withdraw to Oxford and take up winter quarters. So, we now get to do an off-map, on-mat so to speak, battle. So we'll see how this works. This is a first. We've not done this before. Okay, so that is rule 7.0. Let's see. How to conduct a tactical battle. You conduct tactical battles on the battle map by simply following the sequence of play, which is reprinted in abbreviated form on the battle display mat. Designate which royal army in England is this battle is against, north or west. It's north and west, actually. Oopsie. Okay. Well. So, they all seem to be identical, though. The Chits, okay. That army is the one affected by the outcome. Okay, well, it's both of them. Oh, I get it. Okay. You may commit any available named units you desire to your parliamentary side of the battle display mat. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so how does this actually work? Your named units will, on average, improve your chances of winning along the part of the battlefield in which they fight, but they are also at risk of being permanently lost after a deadly outcome. Draw random units from each side's draw pool to fill out the remaining empty boxes. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to remove this one and get this named one instead, new model army. Okay. Turn them all face up. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. For each event that appears on a 2-strength musket and pike formation on either side, draw 1 event card. Yeah. High ground. Resolve immediately. Add a +1 to the combat value of the weakest royalist musket and pike unit if more than one is tied for weakest. Immediately reshuffle the battle cards to form a new draw pile. Okay. So, the weakest is, well, none of them are really weak. So now they're all at 5. At the First Battle of Newbury in 1643, the Royalists under Charles' command and deployed on high ground met a parliamentarian force under the Earl of Essex, who launched a surprise attack at dawn, capturing the high ground. Off balance, Charles' Royalists counterattacked and drove Essex from the central hill. Well, so we're gonna... So, now this looks bad. I mean, sorry to say that, but this looks bad. I mean, I have no chance. So, okay, so now this is where the dice come in. Okay, 4, 10. Okay, so that's it. Me again. 3 versus 7, defeat. 7 against 6, that is a draw. 10 against 6, 7, that is a victory. Yay! 11 against 6. That is again a win. And the named royalist units go into the defeat box. And here we have 7 to 8. That is a stalemate. Okay. After all sections are resolved, check the outcomes boxes. The box with most of your units determines the outcome. Well, it's a defeat. No, actually it's... Check the outcomes box. The box with most of your units determines the outcome. If 2 boxes are tied, it's a draw. So, well, it's a draw because I've got 2 in the defeat box, 2 in the draw box, 2 in the victory box. Oh my God, and there's the cat. Okay, well, I will have to stop now because unfortunately he managed to break in and he's now walking on the map. So, yeah. But you kind of get an idea, maybe, well, I certainly have gotten an idea, and this is a brilliant game, and I will play it as soon as I can get rid of the cat. Oh no, he's actually left. Oh wow, maybe we do get to play after all. Okay, so now I have a draw. The affected army unit status is unchanged, and I lose 1 zeal point. Brilliant. So it means that neither the West... Okay, well, that was it. So, yeah. What would now have happened is that basically I was fighting the army of the West and the North. If I had won, then this army status would have changed. But it remains unchanged because it's a draw and I lose 1 zeal point. So, yeah, that's not good. Okay, so this was a brief first 2 turns of this game. I will play this again and I will let you know how I'm getting on. Okay, bye.